Over the past several years, we've seen an alarming number of local law enforcement agencies across the country adopt the tactics and strategies of military occupation forces. We've watched in horror as police officers have deployed crowd control weapons like tear gas and pepper spray against peaceful protesters. And even now, with the recent revelations about government surveillance programs, we see once again that playbook being used to justify an assault on our civil liberties. The good news is that there are organizations out there doing critical work to stop these abuses and to make sure that the American people know about them. One such organization is the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU. The ACLU is a non-profit, non-partisan organization whose mission is to preserve and defend the individual rights protected by the Constitution and laws of the United States. Founded in 1920, it was established by and for people who believed that the government at times infringed on people's civil liberties. As a result, the ACLU has, from its inception, advocated for equal justice under law for all people regardless of race, gender identity, sexual orientation, religion, or beliefs. The organization has taken up some of the most important civil rights cases in U.S. history, including those involving Miranda warnings, racial profiling, racial discrimination, freedom of speech, and much more. The ACLU works through litigation, advocacy, and public education to preserve your civil liberties. Litigation is the cornerstone of the ACLU's approach to defending civil rights. Each year, ACLU attorneys file dozens of lawsuits against government officials and agencies that violate constitutional rights. In addition to filing lawsuits, the ACLU also defends people whose civil rights have been violated. That's what they were doing in the landmark case Shelley v. Kramer, which successfully struck down racial covenants in housing deeds, or in Mendez v. Westminster School District, which desegregated schools in California, or in Miranda v. Arizona, which gave suspects the right to be told their rights before police questioning. These are just 3 examples of the hundreds of cases the ACLU has won over the years. In addition to litigation, the ACLU engages in policy advocacy to influence legislation at state and federal levels. This can involve working directly with lawmakers to draft and pass laws that protect civil rights. For example, after the Supreme Court ruled that race-based preferences in college admissions were unconstitutional, the ACLU worked with legislators in California to pass a law ensuring that the state would not fund any efforts to discriminate against students based on their race. The ACLU also advocates for changes in laws that violate civil rights. For example, the organization played a key role in getting the California Racial and Identity Profiling Act passed in 2015, which requires law enforcement agencies to collect data on stops and searches so that racial profiling can be identified and eliminated. Finally, the ACLU engages in public education to raise awareness about civil rights issues and to mobilize people to take action. Through campaigns like its Stop Torture program, the ACLU educates the public about the use of torture by government agencies and advocates for an end to these practices. That is a lot of important work, and the ACLU could not do this work without your support. And here's how you can help. You can donate to the ACLU on their website. Join the ACLU's advocacy efforts by signing up to be a member, or you can stay informed about civil liberties issues by following the ACLU on social media or subscribing to their newsletter. But why should you donate to the ACLU? Why is this organization so important? Well, in the United States, there are 2 primary ways in which government power is exercised: through legislation and through the courts. Lawmakers can pass laws that infringe on civil liberties, and government officials, both in the executive and judicial branches, can then use those laws to target individuals, groups, and organizations that exercise their rights to free speech, to free press, to due process, and equal protection. The ACLU is essential because it challenges government power when it is directed toward violating our civil liberties. They stand up for those whose rights have been violated, and they fight to change discriminatory laws. By donating to the ACLU, you are supporting their critical work, whether it is litigating cases, influencing legislation, or educating the public. Your donations allow the ACLU to continue to do this vital work. You may be asking, how will my donation be used? The ACLU receives funding from a variety of sources, including individual donors, foundations, and government grants. Individual donations make up a significant portion of the ACLU's funding, and those funds are used to support the ACLU's three primary activities: litigation, advocacy, and public education. ACLU has a diverse portfolio of cases at any given time, and the cost of litigating a case can vary depending on a number of factors, including the complexity of the case and the amount of time required to resolve it. In some cases, the ACLU incurs significant expenses, such as expert witness fees or travel costs to litigate in different jurisdictions. Litigation can also require the ACLU to hire additional staff, such as paralegals or legal assistants to help with case preparation. Advocacy efforts can also require significant resources, especially when the ACLU is working to influence legislation. This can involve hiring lobbyists, developing and disseminating policy materials, and convening meetings with policymakers. Public education campaigns can also be expensive, especially when the ACLU is working to reach a large audience. This can include costs associated with developing educational materials, as well as expenses related to outreach and communication. To ensure that donations are used effectively, the ACLU has a dedicated team of development and finance professionals who oversee fundraising and ensure that donations are allocated to the ACLU's highest priority activities. If you are interested in learning more about the ACLU's finances, you can visit their website, where they publish detailed financial information, including their annual reports and tax returns. So again, how can you help? You can donate on their website. Their website is easy to use and allows you to make one-time or recurring donations. You can also set up a monthly donation plan that works with your budget. You can donate to an existing campaign or create your own campaign to raise money for a specific cause. In addition to online donations, you can also donate by mail or by phone. Their mailing address and phone number are provided below. In addition to monetary donations, you can also donate your time or expertise. The ACLU has a network of volunteer attorneys and advocates who provide pro bono legal services. If you are not an attorney, you can still get involved by volunteering your time to help with administrative tasks, event planning, or other support functions. You can apply to become a volunteer attorney or to find other volunteer opportunities on their website. You can also contact your local ACLU office to inquire about volunteer opportunities in your area. And finally, you can also help the ACLU's work by simply spreading the word. Share information about the ACLU's work on social media or with friends and family. You can also encourage others to donate or to get involved in advocacy or public education efforts. The ACLU is a vital organization that protects the civil liberties of all Americans. Its work is more important now than ever before. By donating to the ACLU, you are supporting their critical efforts to safeguard our fundamental rights. Whether you donate once or whether you become a monthly donor, your contribution will make a difference. So please consider donating today and helping the ACLU continue its essential work. Together, we can protect our civil liberties and ensure that our voices are heard. It takes less than a minute to make a donation. And remember, this holiday season, your gift will be doubled thanks to a generous matching gift challenge. Please follow the link below to donate today. Thank you for watching this video. When you sign up for an account, you'll have exclusive access to our content. Our award-winning journalism is supported by our patrons. You can join our community of supporters at our website. As a patron, you'll get access to exclusive content and you'll have a direct line of communication with us. You'll also be helping us produce more of the content that you love. So visit our website to become a patron today.